Yeah. Cold air, bright flame, hit a crest when we enter. When the crest covers circle tight, we remember. Power in the whispers, protection in the spell. Etching in our bloodline, yeah, we know it well. Strong minds, strong hearts, every sigil intentional. Love keeps us guarded, magic multi-dimensional. We rise together, no throne, no lone caster. Sisters and brothers, every spell cast faster. Ice in the wind, but the bonds stay warm. Through shadow and storm, we transform. This ain't fear, this is faith in motion. When the crest covered, strength, love, devotion.
Welcome to the Wintercrest Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Abayarafu. And I started a subject in my backyard talking about real magic. And I think we entitled that the introduction to real magic. And I want to continue my thoughts on this podcast and hopefully get a little further along. We concluded in that little talk, and if you hadn't heard introduction to real magic, I encourage you to go back and listen to that video before you listen to this one, so that you can have some ideas about what it is that I'm talking about. In that video, we concluded that the universe is hinged on magic, not logic. That we don't live in a logical universe. So science can only go so far. Science can explain it. We can use our apparatuses to explain phenomena that is magically risen, but it cannot pinpoint logically how this place works. The reason it can't do that is because it flows from magic to the mundane and not from the mundane toward the magic. The universe itself is the workshop of the woo-woo. The scriptures teach, in the beginning God said, let there be, and there was. This is Christian and Islamic type magic. They may not call it that, but that's what it is. Abracadabra, from the words, things are created. And so we can establish then that there's only so far science can get us. And even if science could try to explain everything, there's this thing that they have in science called the unknowable, which means by the time information reaches us from certain quadrants of the universe, most people here will be dead unless they figure out some way of being immortal. If they can't become immortal, they'll die. Now, magically, I believe you can be as immortal as Nicholas Flamel or Saint Germain. And I believe this is absolutely possible, but from the parameters of science, is really not that possible within their vernacular and their concepts. They don't believe that it is. So there are things that they decree is just unknowable. You just will not be here long enough to know it, which once again places the orchestration and the actual working of this universe in the areas of magic. Spirituality is literally metaphysics beyond physicality. And once we've established that, then we can begin to really understand how this magic works. Now, you have two different types of magic. You have magic that's wielded by witches, shamans, and others. These are people that understand that we're in a magical place, and they spend their time studying the laws and the nature of magic so that we can better wield the magic. And then you have a type of mundane magic. And what mundane magic is magical law that's not understood to be magical. It's gravity. It's time-space reality. is quantum physics. Okay, it's the stuff that they study at Caltech and MIT that they call science. All right, so you have these type of things. And a lot of mundanes who refuse to believe the obviousness of what's really there. And, Mr. Weasley said it best when he says, bless the muggles, they'll go out of their way to deny the reality of magic. Okay, and scientists are no exception to the rule. So they're lost in what they will call fate, or just how the stars lined up, or the cards they were dealt. Whereas we who are magical practitioners, we know how to deal the deck. We know how to read the alignment of the stars and better position ourselves. So our destiny is in our own hands. As a witch, as a practitioner, I am not subject to fate. I can move within the block universe, laying my consciousness on the superposition position that I so desire to bring it into my conscious reality the way I choose. And as studying this craft, I become more adept at it. It's astounding how so many witches cosplay, and how so many shamans like the staffs and like the deep sayings that they think that are deep, but fail to really work the work of the craft. There's this thing that I talk about a lot in my teachings called the constant cast. And many of my students have no idea how they're casting into their life on a constant way. They really don't believe what they're doing to themselves. Now, they know the terminology. They know the jargon. They can say the words, but they fail to see what their subconscious casting is doing to wreck their lives. Their constant use of certain phrases and words, their constant playing of certain games, the way they think, the way they were reared, the way their parents educated them and instructed them both explicitly and implicitly. These things have literally destroyed their present and their futures. So there's a lot of people that, and it's funny because the church calls them generational curses. And some witches and hoodoo practitioners have also taken upon these terms. They're not really generational curses outside of the fact that they are doing what their parents did. They find themselves in the same relationships that their mother and father was in. They find themselves eating the same foods and saying the same words and doing the same things. And as a result of this, they have similar or worse lives. It's not that a demon is attached to the family. It's not that your luck is just so bad because it's just the bad luck of the straw. No, it's stuff you're doing. It's stuff you're doing. I just gave one of my students a financial gift, and she responded the same way as many people in her family responds. Saying tight-lipped, not getting overjoyed, not wanting to seem like she was doing it for the money, just like, cool. Whereas if you had given me the same amount of money, I am just blessed. Thank you. Thank you, Oldemari. Thank you, Olodumare. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Orishas. I am just thanking my ancestors. And if it's $1 or there's $1 million, I am so grateful for it. Now, she don't realize what she's doing is sabotaging future money from getting to her. She have no idea. Now, in the church world, we understood this because we didn't wait till the battle was over. We shouted now. Okay, so we would shout and we would dance knowing that it was going to be all right. And then we go back and mess it up with our words because our preacher preached against magic. If he would only had taught us the truth about it, how much further along that many of us would have been. And that's what we do here at Wintercrest. We're teaching you the truth about the craft so that you can use your craft successfully. You know, you may think it's cool, but no, listen, baby. You need to respond correctly. See, the universe doesn't speak English. The monad doesn't speak English. Olodumare doesn't speak English. He speaks vibration. She speaks vibrations. And a lot of times you will have mixed vibrations in your energy center. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like one day you're thinking about finances and wealth, and then the next day you're feeling like poverty. You're not even thinking about money at all. You're not even thinking about a house or a car, but you feel impoverished. You feel that way when you have that blah feeling. You feel that way when you fail to excite yourself. You feel that way when you fail to stand up and say, thank you, universe, or thank you, monad, or thank you, old Damari, or whatever deities you're working with. Thank you, Osiris, Osar. Thank you, Aset, for this blessing that's bestowed upon me. See, there's something about gratitude and thanksgiving that aligns you perfectly of getting more of those things. But when you don't do that, you just play it cool, then you tend to go into those type of things. And people do that in relationships. They do that with their houses. They don't understand what it means to stay in a positive vibration. Let me tell you something. You can think about, you want a new car. You could think about that car all day long and have a perfect visualization, a perfect affirmation on that car. Okay? And the next day, if you feel blah, that blah is antagonist, avada kedavering that other day. And if your energy is more like blah, but then when you think of the car, you get happy. But then when you think of everything else, you're down in the dumps. That vibration is what is being spoken to the universe and is planted in the gardens of the gods. That's what you're going to see. And that's why people have a difficult time with manifestation or spell casting, because they think it's one and done. No, magic is a complete lifestyle. You watch every word. You watch every attitude. It's okay to be in deep thought, but mind how you feel in that deep thought. I go into a pensive place all the time. And I'll think of concepts and I'll think of ways of doing things and how to make magic work. But my mind is constantly on making magic work. And if my mind slips on what somebody did or how they're acting, I will acknowledge that. I will not say, well, no, I'm not going to think about it. No, let's think about it and let's deal with this magically to stop this from coming back up so we won't have to deal with it again. Again, the universe is magical. The universe is magical. And then the quicker and the sooner you understand this, the better to be. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. I'm getting ready to leave my office here, and I'm going to talk more and more about this. Sometime the audio may be just a tad bit grainy because I'm just using my iPods, not my iPods, but my earphones that go with my iPhone to record some of this. But I don't care about how it sounds. I'm more concerned with you getting the information. If you get the information, then you can duplicate your life. And that's one of the things that goes on YouTube all the time. They're so concerned about their intros and outros and so concerned with how the lighting looks that the substance sucks. Okay. And people are going through these loops and they're saying the same old things and talking the same old ways, and lives are not being helped. I can give a damn about that. At Wintercrest, we are a coven of many different witches, of many different paths. We have shamans, Christian witches, hoodoo workers, all here combining our powers and our efforts so that we can get the best out of our magic, working together, learning together so we can get the best out of our magic. And so in doing that, we want to give you the greatest and best teachings to help you along with your magic. Now, there's some things that we're doing to help even more so. And we need your financial support to do those helps. We need you giving, and there should be a link at the bottom of this somewhere so that you can donate. So we do need your help to do this. And that's why the members at tier 2 and 3, they give $25 minimum a month to aid us in this work. Because it's important that you hear these words. It's important that these words repeat. I don't think that there's nothing more important than to continue to hear these words. Because see, a lot of times, in fact, not a lot of times, all the time, you replicate in your life what you're constantly hearing. The way they talk at work is the way you're going to talk at home. The way they talk at the family reunion is the way you're going to talk in your own daily lives. And that's why when you have somebody born in a poor family, they stay poor, usually. And the same with the rich family. And it doesn't really matter how smart or how dumb they are. None of that really matters. Bob Proctor teaches us this. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is where their mind is set, what they believe that they can achieve. That's what matters. All right, we're going to stop right here with this podcast. I will pick up other short messages to help the intro to Magick and give you some ideas and instruction on how to see magic and attain real results. But the first thing you want to do, and let me summarize it this way. You want to be careful what you're listening to, because there's two types of magic. The magic that the magicians, the sages, the shamans know they're doing. And then there's mundane magic. But both of them are magics. The wise witch learns about how to make the magic work better. And the way you do that is with your shadow work. You got to go back and get all that messed up stuff that you got when you were a child, all those messed up teachings, all those messed up habits, get rid of them, refill yourself with them, practice your craft daily. Magic shouldn't be apart from you. It is your name. It is who you are. You should be working magic daily. Do affirmations, visualizations, and meditations. Doesn't matter the length of time. Do them every single day. And learn to literally sift what information comes to you. Don't watch everything on television. Don't listen to all kind of music. Forget what they're doing on Instagram and set yourself up to spiritually learn. You know, there's a lot of spiritual people, but there's not a lot of spiritually powerful people. There's a lot of people that know shit, but they don't know how to do shit. So if you want to be a mage of meaning, a mage with power, then you need to learn. You need to become a student. You need to hush and learn. And that's what Wintercrest is here to help do, to teach you what is needed to be learned. So listen to this over and over and over and over again and watch your faith increase and watch your life change. This is Paul Abayarafu. Thank you for listening to this Wintercrest podcast. And I got a whole lot more to say, and you will be hearing from me shortly. Blessed be everyone. Except for my enemies, cursed be to you. Blessed be to my friends.
Yeah. Cold air, bright flame, hit a crest when we enter. When the crest covered circle tight, we remember. Power in the whispers, protection in the spell. Etching in our bloodline, yeah, we know it well. Strong minds, strong hearts, every sigil intentional. Love keeps us guarded, magic multi-dimensional. We rise together, no throne, no lone caster. Sisters and brothers, every spell cast faster. Ice in the wind, but the bonds stay warm. Through shadow and storm, we transform. This ain't fear, this is faith in motion. When the crest covered, strength, love, devotion.